don't get caught up in this trap of working your 9 to 5 and then being so upset by the fact that you have a job that doesn't fulfill you, that you're spending the rest of your time trying to escape from reality. We just want to scroll through TikTok. We just want to go out and party and drown out our feelings. Take back your power. Again, be intentional about how you are spending your time so that, again, you can put more time into the things that do fulfill you. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how to find time for your passions, your hobbies, honestly, just finding time for joy while working a 9 to 5. Whenever we have any kind of job that we don't feel connected to, it can feel very hard to bring our energy back to ourselves and to find time for what brings us actual joy. A lot of you I know want to pursue passions and dreams that have nothing to do with what is paying your bills right now. So in this video, I specifically really want to talk about how to make room, how to make space for your passions. I feel like this is something that I got really good at and is the reason why I was able to reach financial freedom outside of my 9 to 5. So I really want to share with you guys some tips and just overall advice on how to do this yourself. I know it can be very overwhelming and stressful sometimes. There's only so much time in the day, and I hate this saying that everyone has the same 24 hours because I know that that is not the case. Everyone's lives look very, very different, but I want to remind you guys that no matter what your situation looks like right now, you do have the power. You have the ability, not only physically and tangibly with your time, but also energetically, to disconnect yourself from the matrix, from the game, and to come back to who you are and to pursue whatever it is that truly fulfills you. I will say I do have a guide on how to escape the 9 to 5. I released it, I want to say like a year ago, and everything that I talk about in this video, I go into a lot more detail in that guide. It also has planners and like guides and prompts to help you through everything. So I'll be sure to leave a link to it down below if you guys want to check it out. So I feel like the first thing that's really important to keep in mind when you are working a job that does not fulfill you is how much energy you are putting into that job. You have to reach some level of detachment energetically from your job. When we are placed in these systems like school, K through 12 growing up, and then you go to college and then you have a job, all of these institutions do a really good job of convincing us that our identity is that job. Your career is your identity. Past generations, most people, they stayed in the same job for years. They were focused on climbing the corporate ladder. Maybe you go home and start a family and do all that stuff, but your main life is your job. And oftentimes, although you don't actually feel fulfilled by your job, you may find yourself in this like perfectionist / hustle mentality when it comes to your work. Although you don't care about your work, although that's not what you actually want to be doing long term, you still feel like you have to perform at your best. You want to impress your boss. That's very natural. And if you're like me and you grew up, especially like in school, and you were always like hustling and trying your best, you want to get straight A's, like if you were that kid who worked really hard, this might be very difficult for you. But I think it's really, really important that you first understand you have to let go of the need to be amazing, to excel at your 9 to 5, because again, if it's something that you don't care about, it cannot be your first priority when it comes like to your mental and emotional energy. You really have to start looking at your job as something that is just paying your bills. Look at it as a game. Play the game so that you can get by, but don't go above and beyond for a job that again is not fulfilling you. And I talk about this a lot in my video on you're working too hard at your job, but these companies, what they do is they literally invest their money into figuring out how to psychologically manipulate you into caring more about your job than you actually do. So a lot of times you'll see these companies trying to push this like loyalty agenda of like, we're all family, should maybe put in the extra mile, maybe stay a little bit later sometimes. It's something that they literally teach us about in business school. It's not real, but if you're the kind of person, again, who busts your ass often at whatever it is that you're, being tasked to do, you have to first let go of that in order to truly be able to make space for the things that you do want. Obviously, this is easier, again, for some than others. If you work from home and you're just sitting at your computer and you don't have a boss breathing down your neck every single day, it's gonna be a lot easier to do this than if you have to show up to a job every single day and actually put in your physical labor. But again, no matter what your job looks like, you still have that control over your energy, over your emotional attachment to that job. Once you start kind of emotionally detaching yourself from your job, you'll then be able to start figuring out how you can work smart and not hard. You really want to figure out how you can maximize your time and essentially lighten your workload at your 9 to 5. Again, Depending on what your job looks like, this is gonna look different for you. If you have a very project-based job, you can kind of work at your own pace, do projects as you go. If you have a boss that's really chill, if you go into the office every single day, maybe start having conversations about a hybrid work schedule. Pitch to your boss and make clear that you would be a lot more productive if you worked from home a few days out of the week. And again, I know this is not as flexible as I'm making it seem for everyone. Some people may have very strict rules for their office, but I just want you to remember that again, you have the control. Even if you work a job right now where you literally have to go into the office every single day and they don't care, they're not gonna change their mind, whatever, I want you to remember that there are also other jobs out there that will pay your bills and will give you that level of autonomy. We know by now, most people working office jobs do not need to be working 8 hours a day in order to get things done. And people especially don't have to be going into the office every single day. And thinking about if you don't have an office job, but you have some kind of job that does require like actual physical labor and you do actually have to show up and be there, how can you create autonomy even in that work environment? Have a conversation with your boss about having more control over your work schedule so you can maybe work certain days out of the week and maybe other days you're off and you're focusing more of that time on your passions. Just think about again how you can find some level of control over your time in any way that you possibly can. It's gonna take, again, you developing trust with your boss if you don't already have it and having conversations, but it's also gonna take time for you to kind of build out that system and figure out what works best for you. And once you start winning back some of your time, then you really wanna start getting smart about how you are using your time. Get organized, make sure that you are planning your days using a calendar so that you can start thinking about not only how you can meet your goals at your 9 to 5, but how you can also reach your goals when it comes to your passions and your hobbies. Be organized, be intentional about how you are spending your time. Make sure you are meeting deadlines and actually putting in the work that you need so that you can keep your job and pay your bills. But again, also figure out how you can do that in the most efficient way possible. And that also does require you to start thinking about how are you wasting your time? Are you spending hours a day scrolling through TikTok? Are you going out and doing things that are not actually serving you and helping you reach your highest potential? Because again, if you have a 9 to 5, but you're also pursuing something on the side, you have to be almost a little bit stingy with your time. Don't get caught up in this trap of working your 9 to 5 and then being so upset by the fact that you have a job that doesn't fulfill you, that you're spending the rest of your time trying to escape from reality. So we just wanna scroll through TikTok, we just wanna go out and party and drown out our feelings. Don't get caught up in that trap. Take back your power. Again, be intentional about how you are spending your time so that again, you can put more time into the things that do fulfill you. When you're thinking about working smarter and not harder towards your passions, think about also what platforms and tools you can use to make your job, make your life a little bit more efficient. And Squarespace is one amazing tool for this. If you guys have never heard of Squarespace, they are literally the one-stop shop for building an online brand, whether you have maybe a business or maybe you are, again, making content. They have everything from amazing website templates to payment features and even third-party extensions that make it very easy for you to get your website up and running. So if you guys do want to check them out, I will be sure to leave a link to them down below where you can get 10% off of your first purchase with them. And yeah, thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video and for being such an amazing part of my financial freedom journey. And when you are pursuing, your side hustles, your passion, I don't want you to pursue these things from a hustle mentality where you are burning yourself out to a point where you no longer feel like doing them. I know we want financial freedom, and I know oftentimes we want to get there as quickly as possible so that we can live a life of more ease. And oftentimes thinking about having a job and then having these side hustles can feel like a lot of work, and it can be very, very overwhelming. But I want you to recognize that whatever it is that you're pursuing outside of your 9 to 5 should be something that fulfills you, because chances are if it's something that you actually enjoy and feel drawn to, you're gonna be a lot more successful at it than if it's just something that's like a get rich quick scheme so that you can escape the 9 to 5. Your time is already very limited. So you wanna make sure that that time that you're spending outside of your job doesn't feel like this chore or this thing that you are putting off that you don't really wanna do. Your main mission should be falling falling in love with that passion every single day? How can you get better at what you do? How can you carve out time for learning? Be a student to your craft. Focus on learning that craft before you start focusing on the dollar sign and the monetization. I'm a firm believer that this approach is actually how we should be living life and pursuing basically anything. We naturally have things that we're passionate about. We have things that we do care about. And because we've gotten so used to working jobs that don't fulfill us, because we've gotten so used to being in school and learning about things that we don't really care about, we've started to develop this really unhealthy relationship with doing things, pursuing things, with having goals. So make sure that you are cultivating a positive relationship with the things that you are pursuing outside of your 9-to-5, so that you are looking forward to going and doing them once you do get off of work. How can you make it so that when you are off of work and you're tired and you just have had the most stressful, annoying day, how can your passion be your sense of peace? How can it be your sense of release? And also, don't be afraid to try some things and recognize when they are not for you. Maybe you thought you wanted to be a content creator, but it's just not ever feeling like something that you actually enjoy. It's probably just not for you, right? Try something new. Thinking about your fitness journey, for me, I hate running. Like, I'm never gonna be a runner, but I love lifting weights. Like, that's just the way I am. So really just thinking about yourself and what works best for you, and remembering that your journey is your own. We oftentimes see a lot of people pursuing their dreams on social media, doing all these amazing and cool things. But I just want you to recognize that usually those people who are doing those things because they fell in love with that craft a long time ago. A lot of YouTubers that you see who are really successful and huge, they started doing YouTube because they just loved it. Just focus on the journey, focus on just enjoying it. And again, figure out how you can put more of your mental and emotional energy into those things that do actually make you feel good, because again, your time is valuable. You want to make sure that whatever you're spending your time doing is something that is actually making you feel connected to your purpose. So hopefully this was helpful in some way. Again, these are very like surface level things. There's so many tips and tricks for figuring out time management and, you know, working more efficiently at your 9-to-5. Like, there's so many things I could talk about in this video. So if you guys want me to cover anything else in more detail, definitely do let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know in the comments down below what it is that brings you joy. What passions do you have outside of your job that you look forward to doing on a day-to-day basis? Is it your fitness journey? Is it maybe maybe it's investing, right? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm very curious to see what it is that brings you guys joy. I hope you guys are doing so well. I hope you guys know, again, no matter what it is that your external world looks like around you, you always have the power to come back to inner peace, to have control over your emotional energy and how you are spending it. So yeah, I love you guys and I hope you guys are doing well. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.